What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages? It is the platform sports talk show with your boy Smooth. Cause now, there you go. I'm back, y'all. Do not be alarmed. I'm back now. But anyway, because when it's about sports and business just picked up. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and say it right off the rip. Bunny, you did an incredible job as a host last week for the first edition of many editions of Ladies Night. Congratulations to you. Oh, gee. Oh, gee. Yeah, so I'm definitely excited, man. And shouts out to Annie Greer. Shouts out to Purple Rain, Dejanelle Freeman. Shouts out to Joe. I mean, it was just great conversations. It was engaging. Y'all just definitely held things down from a ladies' point of view, man. So once again, man, it was definitely incredible. Definitely incredible. So just tell me, just if you have seen it already, the playback. What's been your thoughts of Ladies Night so far? And did you get any feedback from anybody else? Yeah, y'all definitely did that. Just a great interaction, engaging, and shouts out to Miss Williams. She even says right now, she says, "Hi Fred, hi Bunny. Ladies Night last week was so much fun." So thank you for watching. But once again, it was a great conversation that y'all was having, talking about Kobe to LeBron to whomever. It was just great how the conversation was flowing, how you held things down. Joe, appreciate you holding things down, reading the comments. Man, let's see here. Let me make sure. It looks like Miss Williams can't hear you very good, so we're gonna make sure that that your sound is on point. Give me 1 second. All right, say something now, Bunny.
Can you hear me now?
Okay,
No.
there we go. Miss Williams, can you hear Bunny now? Let us know in the comment section. We want to make sure everybody can hear. Everyone had to do a
Do I
small.
need to adjust the volume on my computer?
Oh no, it was all me being the producer. Just waiting on
Hey, the
confirmation from.
producer,
Here we go.
the writer, the screen man, the cameraman,
Let me see. She said she
the
still can't hear
talent
you.
coordinator.
Let me know when you can hear her, Miss Williams. Want to make sure before we continue on that everybody is good to go and ready to rock and roll.
Rock it, don't stop it.
All right, there. All right, now they can hear you. Okay, we good now. So sorry about that, everybody.
All right.
So real quick, let's start over again. I'm your boy Smooth, along with.
Bunny!
There we go. It's the platform sports talk show when it's about sports.
It becomes our business.
There we go. And business is once again picking up. Y'all heard what I was saying about how great the show was. Once again, Bunny, thank you. And you did an incredible job hosting. holding things down. Joe for reading the comments. Annie for being Annie, showing that knowledge. Dejanelle Freeman, Miss Purple Rain, showing her passion, her energy. It was just great overall. Now, I asked you earlier, but everybody can hear you at that time, so we apologize. But give us your thoughts on doing the show.
First, thank the ladies. I enjoyed every bit of it. Good dialogue, good mix of flow of questions, answers. The energy was wonderful. Like I told you, I don't know if you heard me earlier, I need the show on Wednesdays to break from all the craziness of the world or even in my life. So it was good dialogue, good fun. Just energy was wonderful from the ladies. Of course, Kobe versus LeBron is always going to get a lot of emotions, whether it's women or men or both. So, but yeah, ladies did a great job. I'm glad it came. I look forward to doing more. And thank you for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
Man, and when Annie kept bringing up the Dallas Cowboys being America's team, you was like, oh, no.
I mean, I said it was blasphemy. I mean, you been under the rock? Like, seriously, like, again, I'm trying to keep it PG-13. A certain finger, them Cowboys. And it ain't this finger, this finger, this finger, this finger. Them Cowboys, okay? They are not America's team.
Is that one? Oh.
I'm just saying. Ever since the 90s. We in 2020 now. Forget just what's going on with the pandemic. The Cowboys was going to be trash anyway once Prescott went down. But let's not get them that much platform time, okay?
Right. But once again, y'all definitely held that down. I felt like a proud father. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, look at
You're so silly.
I'm like, oh, look at them just holding it all down and doing the damn thing. But, I knew from the get-go after you told me that you wanted to be on the show. I recall our conversation we used to have back in college years about,
No.
You know what I'm saying? About us, wanting to do a talk show back in, in the day. It was a radio talk show. It wasn't all this live social media stuff. No. And then how you were saying that you were, that you had interest in, back in the day doing your own hosting. I think you used to host a talk show back in the day. Is that correct?
It wasn't a talk show. I used to do a Spanish newscast.
A Spanish newscast. Okay, show us some of those skills.
It was so many years ago. Technology was different in the early 2000s. So I don't know what the tapes are. I don't even know if the studio still has it, but yeah.
Okay. That's what's up. So, for those watching, we are once again your Wednesday night sports light been going down 3 years strong, consistently on Wednesdays, maybe on Thursdays sometimes, like we had was that last week or 2 weeks ago? But we just like to have
this your 3P one. This our first 3P.
There we go.
The Kobe MJ on you.
But yeah, we've been doing this and been having a great time. The show has just been progressing so much from day one to now. You know what I say about progress, Bunny? Progress is what? Progress is sexy.
Your lifeline.
Progress is sexy.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, and
I wouldn't say it that way. That's right. It is.
And just so you know, my mom gave me that bell for you too.
She did.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mama. Oh, finally, because we need to hit that bell so people can subscribe.
Yeah. So.
Thank you for finding that bell. I'm trying to find the YouTube with our. Here we go.
All right. Okay. So. We normally go through the round table, talk about what's going on in sports, but what we're going to do, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to save that until after we have our special guest joining us, which right now it's that time. This man went to, and I know Bunny don't want me to say it, you know what I'm saying, but I'm going to go ahead and say the best high school ever, you know what I'm saying? The V.
Whoa. Hold your brakes. You can say you went to the best high school for basketball. You got to throw that acronym with it, okay? Can't just say the best overall. No. Best for basketball
I can say
and about to be football, okay?
I can say it because it's my school, so I'm going to go and say ever, you know what I'm saying? But definitely, of course, basketball-wise, y'all know what it is. This man went to the V, stand out, player. Then he went to Mizzou and did his thing as a wide receiver. Then got drafted to the Chiefs. And then he has the pleasure to now go back to his alma mater and is the varsity head coach. He's the head coach of the football team. And there's more. And he is the athletic director at Vashon High School. So without any further ado, join us via Zoom, of course. We have Coach AD. We have Will Franklin. Will, what is going on, brother?
What's up?
It is good to see you, man. How have you been?
I've been great, man. I've been great. You know, as the world, everybody's adjusting right now to what COVID has done, but I can't complain, man. I've been great.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And before I even go into further, Bunny, because I forgot, but y'all see on the bottom of the screen our information. Make sure y'all give us a follow on Facebook, on Twitter.
Yes.
Go on YouTube, subscribe, click on that
bell.
Because anytime we go live, you will be what, Bunny?
Notified.
There it is. And we got we have a different backdrop too. Have you checked that out yet, Bunny?
I did not. Let's see.
Yeah, we have a little different backdrop going on. So doing different things. But going back to our special guest, I see he's in the office still. Now, Will, when we have our guests on, of course, via Zoom, they be having nice little photos of a jersey or something like that. So what's going on in your office right now?
It's a little bit of everything, man. I got my Chief jersey hanging. I have some stuff from college back behind me and some articles that was framed. Just a lot, you know what I mean? My diplomas as well back there. Just for things when the kids come in off and get to see basically every phase of life that I've had, from a student athlete here to a professional athlete. Let them see it, be able to, ask questions on what was my experience throughout all those things. So just some motivational things for them to see and, hopefully inspire them to, shoot for their own dreams.
That's what's up. And, when they see the Mizzou, they see the diploma, they see you going to the Chiefs. When most kids go into your room, what usually be like their first reaction?
They always talk about, do I know some famous football player? Do you know this guy? Do you know that guy? And it's a blessing to be able to just have that conversation. I can remember as a kid, you can just wish you can talk to someone who actually lived their life and experienced it, and you know what I mean? So for me to answer those questions and actually know some of the guys that they're talking about where, some of the guys I actually can FaceTime and call and be like, hey, man, can you say a word or two to this young man? It's for me, it just makes my heart warm and it makes me feel good that, I am in a place to help kids not only talk to some of their idols, but, connect them to them and allow them to see that you can accomplish your dream no matter where you are.
You know what's funny? If I was in high school now and walk in your office, instead of asking about somebody famous, I'd be like, hey, man, can you give me a hookup on one of them Mizzou Nike sweatshirts or them little pants or something with Mizzou? I want that Nike. You know how we all want hookups, right? I'm just
I get that too. Some of them ask, Coach, can you go down there and get some stuff now? Like, you know what? I'm a high school coach now. That's a violation. After being down there 5 years on the administrative side, I understand the protocols with that. So I'm like, man, them days over with. When I worked there, I got all the free gear in the world. I can help you out. But now, I don't want no violation that will hurt, the future of these student athletes that I have now.
I guess you don't want that smoke. But, every time we talk about the NCAA, I don't care who's listening. I always say they are cartel and they hypocritical for what you just said. The cartel will eventually come crumbling down. Okay.
Right.
and
facts.
And Will, tell us real quick, what year did you graduate from the V?
2004.
Okay, so
I came out 2004.
I graduated.
That's a good year too.
I graduated in 2000, so I pretty much just missed you. And I played for the V, and of course played with Floyd Iron. So when Bunny was talking about the outfits and the shoes. Hey, you already know how it was living that life as a Vashon High School star, man. We had it all. I was saying before, we had outfits just to get on a plane.
High school is traveling by plane.
Yes, yes. We had the outfit and the shoes just to travel to a game, or like I said, on the plane. We had outfits to go to a hotel. I mean, we had it all. It was like, man.
Lounge gear to hang around the hotel in.
Yeah. Y'all in high school, just going on the airplane for an athletic event.
Yeah.
Going to a lounge, going to the game with all different outfits. Like, what?
Hey, so.
What's crazy, that experience there helped me when I got to college.
Okay.
And I actually made a comment to our equipment guy when I first got to college. I said, man, I got more gear in high school than I got here.
Really?
Yeah, the equipment guy looked at me like, you're a freshman. You'll understand that when you get to college. Like, your freshman year in college and everything, like, you ain't getting all the gear yet. You know what I mean? They need to see if you're going to become a guy. But that experience alone in high school, what he's talking about, that he experienced and I experienced of traveling in high school, it made a world of a difference, man. Because I can remember my freshman year in college, and it was guys getting on planes for the first time. And I'm sitting over there like, shit, man, we done been blah, 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 blah. And guys had never left their states until they either came to Columbia or when we took our first flight to go play a away team. And you can't take away that experience that these young men and myself and he had, you know what I mean, when we were in high school, because it may be your first and last time traveling. You know what I mean? A lot of these kids, I know, you know what I mean, for me, we couldn't afford to travel like that. You know, we drove, you know what I mean? No matter where, we was in vans, you know what I mean? We take long trips. So to be able to have the experience to get on the plane and, you know, to take those conversations that we had in the dorm, sitting across from each other, like, man, I did this in high school, and we did this, and we beat this team, and they were number 2 in the country, and, you know what I mean? It was very unique, man.
And I recall up team millions of times that we, of course, had a road game, whether it was, going to a different state or driving to some part deep down south in Missouri, like Chillicothe or whatever. And we go to a restaurant. We coming in. We all wearing our outfits. Everyone thought we was like a college or a professional team. Like, I loved that feeling. It was like, man, I feel like we some millionaires.
Right, with $20 in our pocket.
A little early in life.
Man,
we got $20 in our pocket, but we look good.
Right. And
y'all egos got inflated real fast because y'all got all this gear looking like a whole celebrity basketball or football team. Wow.
If you understood how many days a week we practiced, how long practice was,
and how intense it was too.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, those things, you know, for people to understand, like, hey, you know what I mean? I was well prepared for college as far as 6 a.m. practices and things of that sort, because that's what happened with him. Like, that man, we had 6 a.m. practice. We had 2 of days, and you had to learn mentally how to push through things around this place. Well, you know what I mean? For him, the old pit.
Right.
You know, but for me, you know what I mean? Like, you had to learn. You know what I mean? That was the way of life.
And if
you didn't play at the OV on Grand, you was at the new one.
Nope. I came into the new build.
Right. Yeah, because it sucked because they're supposed to open up the building during our senior year in 2000, but things got pushed back. Like the plan was for us to be the class to open up the building, and never happened. So with that being said, Will, my first
almost 3 years later.
Right. So what's crazy is that the first time that I actually went into the new building was 2 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And when I went in, I was like, okay, here we go, you know. And I saw, you know, the wall of fame, or, you know, just photos or whatever. And all of a sudden I'm looking. I'm like, oh, snap. I know that dude. That's me. I'm like, hey, I made it, y'all. I'm here. And then I went in the gym, And it's like right above the door, you'll see the 1990, I believe 1998 season, and I'm right there, right over the door. I'm like, okay, there we go. Then I see my cousin Rick Simpson. He played back in the late '80s. You may know, just from history. Ronald Simpson, his father.
I don't play about the '80s teams, man. Like,
yeah.
I don't want no smoke with them at all. Hey, the '80s gonna let you know, man. It was crazy, man. Them '80s classes are truly the heart and soul of our high school, man. Like,
it is.
Just being at AD role now, and just seeing how committed they are to our sports, man. Like, I hope we can bring back the school spirit around here and what they had. You know what I mean? And what we shared. You know what I mean? It's I truly love this place. You know, I love with everything. It changed my life. And as many of us that went here to actually be able to get things and brought off of different places in life, you always think back on your time in these hallways. And for you over on Bill, you know what I mean? You can never forget those times.
Right. You can tell the V-side pride is all up and down those hallways. And unfortunately, I don't know if you heard this before. Of course, you know that the St. Louis Public Schools are going to be closing more schools, including Sumner, which I know is a big rival for football. That was y'all team for the city schools, but unfortunately, it's a couple other schools on the chopping block. But that V-side alumni association, and just going through those halls, you can tell it's history. Even the new one or if the old one still existed, you can feel it walking through them doors. So.
Yeah, man. That Sumner closing, it really sucks. It's that the community around it is not what it was when we were growing up, and that what fed that school is that neighborhood of the Ville, which was historical Black neighborhood for years and years. You know what I mean? And now, you know what I mean? It's you barely have, you know what I'm saying, houses and blocks over there, which we'll see as gentrification takes over. That is going to change. So we'll see how that goes. I hope we stay put in our neighborhoods, but you know, some of us are, you know, taking off and doing whatever was best for them and their families. But that's a sad one there, man, with the history of Vashon Summer being a first Black high schools north of the Mississippi. For one of the predominantly ones that what they have done football wise over there to close, it sucks.
Most definitely. And real quick before we continue on, for those who are watching on Facebook, if you're watching through Bundy or myself, live, watch party, leave all the comments under the platform Sports Talk Show page so we can see your comments, we can interact with you. If y'all have any questions, any cool stories, whatever, for our special guest, Coach and AD Will Franklin, go ahead and put them on the comments so we can all see it and we can all interact. So keeping with the St. Louis Public High School, what do you think, Will, just from your point of view, is the reason why there is a decrease in attendance in the St. Louis Public High School?
Well, it's a few reasons. One of the biggest things is the multiple different school districts or options you have to attend schools. We're dealing with dynamics that no longer exist that killed us when we were in high school, was the D said. Private schools have taken a very large jump into obtaining a lot of our kids. And then you add charter into the place. And when you add those two dynamics from private and charter, families are looking for ways to improve their kids' education. You know what I mean? And that's always been a knock on St. Louis Public School. They're not educating us. They're not educating us. And for me, you can't put 100% education on your kid. I know for me, my mom, she forced education. My uncle, who I call my father, he forced education on me at home. You know what I mean? It wasn't just left to the school. And today's generation, everything is left on someone else. You know what I mean? A lot of us are not taking accountability for what we need to do, one, for ourselves, and two, for our community. And the moment we can be able to get grips back on that, you know, I think it would be better for us to start getting more kids back into our school system in the St. Louis Public Schools.
Okay.
Yeah.
So of course it sounds like it's not an overnight fix. Clearly.
No, nothing is an overnight fix, especially in this climate that we're in. But the initiative of just taking responsibility of education has to be number one priority. You know, Southern Public Schools does a great job hiring some of the best teachers around the state of Missouri. But our families got to make sure they're pulling their weight too. You know, and we all learning right now through this pandemic with virtual schooling. You know what I mean? A lot of things that's going on, you know what I mean? You can't point the finger at the teacher. You know what I mean? 90% of our kids are at home. So if your kid is failing or having struggles with it, you know what I mean? Yes, you ask and you reach out and get them as much help as you can from your teachers. But hey, it's an adult living in their house that has to make sure the kid is logging on and you know being tentative while you're in class and you know completing the assignments. You know what I mean? So it just puts the balance back in things that you know it takes two. You know what I mean? That old saying, it takes a village. You know what I mean? It takes more than just the school doing the work. We both have to be 50-50 on it.
And, you know, it's funny you said that about the village. Something that Floyd Iron said back when we had, of course, you know, you wasn't aware, but back on Bell, we was in this big auditorium, and we had this big, like, everyone was in the auditorium, the whole school. And he said something that always hit me. He said, an empty wagon makes the most noise. And I was like, wow, like how true that is. Once again, an empty wagon makes the most noise. It's like, if you really just think about that,
Yep.
you know, it makes so much sense. So before we continue to get on to what's going on in the now, something we want to always ask our guests is, when did you develop and find out about your love of sports?
I think it's always been a part of me from the time I was a kid. I didn't play organized sports till I actually got to 7th grade. I didn't play, in 7th grade. I was went to Turner Middle School, was playing, you know, basketball over there. And a guy by the name of Leon Threats, he now runs Threat Hoops. He's on Threat Hoops. He some kids at the school were playing for his program called at New Northside. It was a program that helped kids like myself, you know, single parents, really couldn't afford to play the sports fees that comes with it. But New Northside provides those opportunities for us. And Leon came and got us in this little van, man. Kids, you think we was like special ed or, you know, different things like this. But he would come get us after school. And he would have, you know what I'm saying, some meals for us, and we would practice. And we started playing for New Northside. And that was 7th grade, so I was, 12, 13 years old.
Really?
So that's
the reason I'm saying really, because it just seems like a lot of times with people who are really athletic from high school and college always start younger than 12 or 13. And in St. Louis, you want a Matthew Dickey or Herbert Hoover kid? It seems like everybody's one or the other.
No, yeah. And what's crazy, I grew up wanting to, you know, go play for one of those programs. A lot of my friends played at Matthew Dickey's growing up.
Okay.
But my mom didn't drive. Financially, you know what I mean, she wasn't about to pay for me, and you know, there's 5 of us, me and my sister and brother, so she wasn't about to put all us in it. So seeing, you know, for me, that struggle really like pushed me when I did get that opportunity to play. So when I got to playing for New Northside, I what they call dogs, like I would just, I really pushed myself to, you know, become something great.
And what sport would you say was the first one that you fell in love with?
Basketball. That's my first love. Basketball, my first love. You know, you play Killer Man in the yard, you do stuff like that. My uncle, Dornay Scott, is the one that kind of put the football in my hand. You know what I mean? Like, man, he played football. I was like, all right, but, you know, I was shooting at the lights, signs, the stop signs in basketball. Like, we played in milk courts and things. That's sort of growing up. So it was always basketball. I started dunking in 7th grade. You know what I mean? So
Really?
yeah, my little notoriety like kind of took off early because she's like, man, he in 7th grade dunking.
12, 13 years old, you was getting in like
yeah,
oh,
yeah. I was. My first dunk, my eyes was closed. I opened my eyes up, and I was hanging on the rim, and all my teammates were just going crazy, like, you did it, you did it, you did it. So, you know.
Didn't have social media for you back then, sorry.
Yeah, oh yeah, I was took off there. But yeah, basketball, I would say basketball is my first love, man. I love it. I love the game of basketball.
It's 3 guys that I could think of that when I think about athletic ability and like having the ability just like to have bunnies, you know, hops, jump out the gym. One is a guy I've known since grade school. His name is Layman Griffin. Like this dude here, he about the similar height during that time, you know, in grade school. And he could touch the rim like it was, I mean, he could touch the ceiling like it was nothing. Then another guy was during my high school years. You may know him, and that was Walter Backus.
Yep. I heard about him.
That dude, I mean, you talking about gifted. That dude has some springs like none other. And then I started hearing about you. And I was, and you know, just seeing just the natural athletic ability of just jumping out the gym. Where do you think that ability came from?
Honestly, man, it was no sport that back then we played outside. You know what I mean? Like you did everything from court to hockey with your regular skates on to
skate back then.
you know what I mean? You played outside so much. Yeah, you kick ball, you dodge balling. I think
count catch a girl, get a girl. That don't count.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Buddy. So straight up, like all those different things growing up, you know what I mean? Like it gives you tools that you don't know that you'll need in a sport. You know what I mean? So just being able to be a kid and allowed to play in your neighborhood and play and go up a couple blocks over and play against other people and things of that sort, all was just installed in me. You know what I mean? Like, I got cut from my first team in 6th grade because I couldn't make a left-hand layup. I was jumping off the wrong leg, and here we are today. You can jump off the wrong leg and make a layup, and they'll say it's cool. You know what I mean? When I was growing up, if you was making a right-hand layup, you jumped off your left leg.
Right.
Now you can jump off your right leg and make a right-hand layup, and they're like, oh, man, he talented or he orthodox. You know what I mean? It's just crazy now. But, yeah, man, everything. Just playing all the multiple sports in the neighborhood. And then, like I said, just once I got that opportunity to play organized, then my mom didn't have to pay for it. I just made the best of it.
So what brought you to Vashon High School?
Basketball. I played with Game Face, AAU.
Oh, yeah, I recall them.
Yeah, you know, most of my friends were playing with them. I started off originally at Beaumont High School. And most of my friends were playing with them, and I opted to go to Beaumont. All of them went to Vashon. I opted to go to Beaumont.
Try to be the rebel.
Yeah, not so much the rebel, you know what I mean? It was more so like, it was a game between Vashon and Beaumont in 99 at Gateway. And Beaumont was up, I think 6, like a minute 40 or something to go in the 4th quarter. Ready to go win the game. A couple incidents happened to where they basically jacked the game off and lost it. I was sitting at half court, and I remember watching, you know, Joe Sheldon, DJ, Jimmy, all those guys.
Yeah.
My good friend AD, and then I remember watching Brian Turner.
Yeah.
Goodlow, Bull, all those guys, and I just see this war, and I'm like, man, Beaumont is a piece away from actually being a team that can take down Vashon.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I felt I could be that piece. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, I can get in there. You know what I mean? I can be a part of it. But I wasn't happy when I got over there. You know what I mean?
What, with the school-wise, or you talking about the team?
Both. I wasn't happy. I didn't feel I was getting the most pulled out of me to make me who I needed to be successfully. So in my sophomore year, you know what I mean, I was talking to my mom. I'm like, man, I want to go somewhere and be amongst guys that's going to college. Like, you know what I mean? I'm around some guys over here that, you know what I mean, we all neighborhood kids. We all know what's in the neighborhood. I don't want what's in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? And I begged her. You know what I mean? My mom is, you know what I mean, you stick and you go through what you made your decision on. Like, she wasn't budging. You know what I mean? So I had to, like, beg her. You know what I mean? And she finally made the decision. And for me, it was the best decision of my life. Being able to get amongst my friends to actually, you know, all 6 of us ended up going to college after our senior year.
Wow.
You know, because I wasn't the only one. It was a few had went to Kirkwood and some other schools. And when we got to Vashon, you know, our mission was not only to win, but, you know what I mean, you want to get out of St. Louis. Like, that was my number one thing. Like, I got to get out. Like, you know what I mean? I can't speak of everybody else's family dynamics, but mine wasn't the one that you want to say, you know, I want to be like this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I wanted to be the change. You know,
have aspirations, or you didn't have anybody that you looked up to in a positive way internally.
You know what I mean? You know, it all depends on how you view. You know what I mean? Some people can view some things as a positive light, but for me, it was more so like, man, I got to go. You know?
Yeah. At least you recognize that. That's important at that age, 16, 18. You talking about sophomore senior? Yeah. Yeah.
Some of us have to grow up fast, so you got to make your mind up. You got to make a decision, and I made mine early, and you know you know, here I am today. You know, sitting in the seat talking to you guys off the decision I made at 16 years old.
Right. Smooth. I don't know if I'm getting off. What's that script or not? But he threw me for a curveball. I didn't know basketball got him to Vashon. So can I ask him, when did you start getting noticed for football and get recruited for that?
I only played 2 years of football. So I played my sophomore and my senior year. It was actually a good friend of mine, Torrey Davis. I was playing at Beaumont. I played my sophomore year at Beaumont. And going into that year, they were trying to make me play quarterback. And, you know, I'm throwing the ball. I'm not knowing that what I'm doing. I'm just throwing it like I'm used to playing sandlot football or whatever. But I was throwing the ball. But I got tired of taking all them hits. So I'm like, man, if I'm going to play, I'm playing wide receiver.
So wait, you know, man, like, hold on, wait. So are you throwing shade to the O-line?
I was about to ask you.
It definitely was.
You kept being on your backside every day.
My line at that time, I'm sorry, but I literally had, you know what I mean? Like, we wasn't that good up front. I'm going to just say that. We wasn't that good up front.
And I'm talking about the classroom.
I was determined not to play quarterback. I'm like, man, I'm going to play receiver.
Hey, Smooth, that's his story. He's sticking to it.
Hey, you know what, buddy? You know what, buddy? Whose O-line was better? The Rams doing Mark Bolger year?
Hey, I might stick with us then, because they was horrible then. But, yeah, man. I literally told him I wasn't going to play quarterback. I'm like, man, I can't play. And Torrey was like, man, this is your sport. He like, man, you can go play pro ball if you stick to this sport. And at that time, like I said, I was 16 at the time. I'm like, man, I'm going in the gym after this season. Like, I don't even care. Like, I was stuck on basketball. Like, man, I'm going in the gym. Like, I was so every other day, like, man, I'm going to basketball practice. Now I'm going to football practice. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't truly committed to it, but he seen something in me, like, early, like, and I still tell him this when I see him, like, man, you the first person to ever tell me that I can go play pro ball, not college ball, like pro ball in my life. You know what I mean? And my sophomore year, I had a pretty good year. And that summer of my sophomore year, man, we was going to different camps and playing different camps. And we went to a Mizzou camp that was held at WashU. It was a one-day camp. And I went through and I guess I did well. Now understanding like how things go, yeah. So I did pretty well, and I just drew some interest. My junior year, I transferred. I couldn't play no sports at all, like none. Like I was considered ineligible for the year, transferring from public high league to public high league. So I set out my whole junior year. The summer of my junior year, I was getting invited to some camps. I was getting invited to different camps. I went to a Nike camp down at Auburn, where I seen some guys that I later met back up at the NFL Combine with. But I was on a tear. Like I worked my tail off that whole year. I wasn't eligible. I practiced every day in basketball. I practiced every day in football. Waiting for that opportunity just to get back and be allowed to play. Mm-hmm. And I went on a straight spree from the summer of my June until I signed my letter of intent and was leaving in May for Mizzou. I everything from football, we were a game away from going to state my senior year. Basketball, we went 31-0. Track, we went and won. We held a record at state for almost 12 years in a 4x1. I won the 100 that year. Like I was just on a tear. Like, but there was a lot of anger and frustration inside of me with that because I missed that year. And I didn't think I would, get that opportunity to go to college. And I look up, I had probably like 20-something offers by the end of my senior year. Well, going into signing day in February.
Nice. Real quick, shouts out to a guy that I've known since we was little kids. Our families know each other so well, like we're all family. He is the current head coach of Cardinal Ritter football team. He went to the V as well. Shouts out to Brendan Spain. He says V side, so shouts out to you. Congrats on
Coach Brennan. I'm gonna let y'all have y'all V-side moments.
Congrats on a wonderful season, Coach Spain.
Yes.
I know y'all were just short. Y'all went to state and lost, but you came in and set the tone. We had him on the show a few months back, and he was just determined to change the narrative from what happened, the year prior, and say, hey, this happened in the past. So I'm here. It's different. And they still doing their thing. So Brendan Spain, shouts out to you, man.
Congrats,
yes,
Coach Spain. This is his first year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, congrats. That's a lot in 1 year. What's up? Okay.
And things gonna be even better for him next year when he get everything a full year under his belt. Like myself, man. Like I don't think people really understand how hard it is going into new situations like this year where you don't have time with your kids. You know what I mean? To be able to still put a run together the way he did and his staff did after not being allowed to practice as much, not be able to rally your team. Every other week you're dealing with the dynamic of if I'm going to have a full team or if I'm going to have 20 guys just to be able to suit up and play a game. You know what I mean? So to be able to, do what he did, do what his staff did, and those kids buy into what he's selling,
right?
You know what I mean? Man, kudos. And I know he's gonna do great things over there, man. That V blood in where, man, we gonna rock and roll.
Can we use the trust the process for Coach Spain? We can say trust the process.
Always, he has a process that he's trusting, and it clearly was going to get them to that state run. The state is they think they slick with how they set that doggone bracket up, but. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it. We'll be ready for it. You know what I mean? Next year.
Hey, it was the same way with basketball. Like they knew what they.
Them don't change.
Hey, they knew.
As long as your team looks like a certain color, not the school colors, they tend to change a certain way.
Man. They got us this year with that, man. They put everybody on one side, man. But it makes it. Hey, the better the challenge, you know what I mean? We can go out there and execute it, man.
So, tell us, I know we had to talk about, just having the uniforms and being out in certain places playing basketball. Tell us about the times as a football player for the V.
Man, it was the year I was ineligible. We were that was probably one of the most talented teams I had been around. We had Scaife. We had John Everett. We had Cheeto, RP Cheeto. He passed away. He was a fellow officer of St. Louis Police Department that passed away. Greg. We had so much talent that year, and we couldn't get over the hump, you know. And so as I sat back that year and I'm watching, I'm like, man, it's things that I'm going to have to do different to help our team get over the edge. And a lot of that just came with just being a leader. You know what I mean? And taking what I was learning through basketball and bringing it to the football dynamics. And that number one thing was just being consistent with what you do every day. You know what I mean? So I tried to be consistent as possible with myself to show my teammates, you know, yeah, I got offers and things rolling in, but y'all know I come to work every day. You know, and in order for you to, you know what I'm saying, reap what you want, like, we all got to come to work. And then, too, you know what I mean, just being able to gel together, like, we actually like each other. You know what I mean? You can be amongst teammates in high school and college and pros or whatever it may be, and you don't like each other, and it shows when you go play a game. You know, and we actually like each other, and we hung out. You know, I wish I could tell you some of the stuff we did when we hung out.
Hey, tell us. Hey, go ahead. Let's go.
We hung out, man. You know what I mean? Like, I would say this.
13. Go ahead.
I would say that I had a van my senior high school. You know what I mean? I had a van.
So, you know what? Stop it. Stop it right there.
A few of us had cars and different things, but I had a van, so I had most of the team in the car with me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We would do things like go to Esquires and, you know, go to, you know, food places. And,
I know he's with his teammates, but I know they ain't the only person that's interacting with now.
No, seriously. No, seriously. Like, so we would do
those. Okay.
We would do those things, and, you know, man, it was a time or two we might ran out on a tab or something, you know, like, we did things together, though. You know what I'm saying? So I can recall, it was a time.
Did you see that look?
I got stories, man, but you used to, in high school, you know, you want to look the best and all this stuff, man, and, you know, it may have been a time or two, half of the team got caught at Sports Authority. You know, going to get some gear, man. So it was different things that we did, though. Like, it was never one or two, you know what I mean? If one got in trouble, we all got in trouble because we were all together. And those things helped us. It helped us, and we got in tough games where we played, and, man, we made a hell of a run, man. And, you know, I look back on those memories sometimes when I see the guys, whether they come up to the school when we was able to have people around, or I see them out and we could just talk about those things. And, like, that was, in life, that was some of the most purest time that you can have fun. You know what I mean? As you become an adult, you know what I mean, a lot of other things get serious, and the purity of life sometimes get taken away from you. But when you can look back at a small period of life where you're like, man, I had fun. You know what I mean? And I can say my last 2 years of high school, I had an absolutely ball.
And thank God for no social media.
Right.
Thank God. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I'm happy from that standpoint because you know what I mean? Like, I talk to the young men and women around here about social media because it's a gift and a curse with that now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The gift is you can promote yourself, you can have your own brand, and you can sell yourself. The curse is it's Fortune 500 companies going to search you when you're become someone that's looking to apply for a job somewhere. You know what I mean? And they can go as far as back as elementary school. I mean, however long you've had social media. And for me, social media had really kicked off when we were in college, with Facebook starting in 2006, 5 or 6. You know what I mean? And I experienced that when I went to the combine, and, you know, they ask questions, you know what I mean? They really do research on you. So to know that without social media then, they was finding out incidents that I had when I was in elementary school, like, it was serious.
Right.
You know, so for the kids today that really don't understand the dynamics of what social media is today and how it can help you and how it can really hurt you with what you post, what you repost, what you like. you know what I mean, is viewed in all those different categories, and it can help you or it can hurt you. You know, you might be qualified for a job, but you know, so yeah, even for adults.
Calm down. Put
calm
down. Don't put your emotions right there because you're already, you know, high emotional. You want to regret it. Calm down.
It's serious, man. So you know, it's something I think anyone that's in front of young men and women daily, like that's a conversation that needs to get had because these kids think freely through social media. Like they put everything, every emotion, every high, every low on it, and you know, it can be a gift and a curse.
And who was the head coach during your time at the V? Was it Coach Ferd?
Yep, Coach Ferd.
Okay,
yep.
That's what's up.
Yep, that's my guy. Up. Yep.
Nice. So, do you feel that during your time at the V, that was probably some of the best times that the Vashon football team experienced during, you know, your 4 years?
No, I actually think it took off after that. Because the groups followed, you know what I mean? Like, Coach Ferd went on a run where he was beating everybody. And he started getting, it became a norm of winning district. It became a norm of, you know what I'm saying, getting close to state. You know what I mean? Coach had went on a run here for a while. And then Spain came on board and helped put them on even more run. So they went on a run during my time in college. It was exciting just to be able to look back like, yeah, we beat Child, and I'm representing them at Mizzou, but they represent back here at home. It's like, yeah, you know what I mean? I'm get back, come to a game because I want to see my school do well. So, Coach did wonderful things for the football program, and I just hope, you know what I mean, now that I'm here and that I can take the program to another height on some of the things that, going back to Coach Mitchell, to him, and now to myself, and take the program somewhere that it deserves to be, and that's, you know, down 70 and playing for a state championship.
That's what I like to hear. So let me ask you this. Now, we talked about the young athletes and young men you coaching, Twitter, social media, but what about recruiting? Recruiting when you were getting recruited and recruiting going on now. How was it as far as the attention, or like, so you had 20 letters and, you know, the family all like, hey, go here, go, like, how was that?
It wasn't. It's such a rat race now, because you have social media involved with it now. So if you're getting recruited by the University of Missouri, every fan in America that's a Mizzou fan is going to follow you, and they're going to tell you be a Tiger, and every school in America is doing this. And so these kids gain from 500 followers to end up being 10,000 followers over social media. And you are now seeing a kid post every offer. And now these days, all offers are not real offers. You know what I mean? I worked in a university where, you know what I mean? Like, I know what's a legit offer from Mizzou when I worked at Mizzou. You know what I mean? I know what's a legit offer for Illinois because I knew guys on Illinois staff. But it's colleges that come through town who offer kids that don't oppose their offer. You know what I mean? So kids getting excited and I got an offer from here. You know what I mean? But is it committable? Can you actually call their school right now in this moment and say, I want to commit? And they don't spin you another way, say, are you sure? I would get back with you, or some spiel to stall you. You know what I mean? So then, when I was in high school, offer meant an offer. So, I mean, you got a piece of paper. It was an offer. It tell you what the tuition is, and, you know what I mean, what you're going to get. Books is going to cover it. You know what I mean? You actually got this paper. But now you have a coach like, man, we offer you, but the entire staff may not agree with their offer yet. You know what I mean? So he might throw it out there just to say, you know, we offer the kid, but have the entire staff okayed that offer? You know what I mean? So it's tricky. It's very tricky now, man. I hate it because it's an emotional roller coaster for a kid. You know what I mean? 1 minute they may text you every day. Next minute they not, because they probably found another kid they feel better about. And so they land off of you. So now the kid may be reaching out, but they're ignoring the kid. So it's just an up and down seesaw. for this generation of kids dealing with recruitment.
Okay. So, as Bunny said earlier, and as you alluded to earlier, you receiving mail all the time, 20, 30, however many pieces of mail you receive. What made you decide to go to Mizzou?
It was my very first offer. Mizzou offered me when I was a junior, and no one like really knew of me. Again, from that one-day camp I went to my sophomore year, Mizzou followed me over from Beaumont to Vashon.
Wow.
And the coach would come through to the school so much at my junior and senior year, man, like it was a real joke going around. Your daddy here. Your daddy here.
Like, that too. Got your daddy again. Here he comes.
Like, man, your daddy here. Man, the coach that recruited me, man, he short guy, brown skin, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So whenever he would come to the school, man, kids were like, man, your daddy here, your daddy here. That's how much the man was in the school, man. And just that consistency from him, you know what I mean, and the phone calls I would get from him and the rest of the staff, it was hard for other schools to come into play for me to take it away. You know what I mean? I had a Michigan offer, I had an Iowa offer. At the time, Big Ten was really running St. Louis. Like, they was coming in getting everything. So, you know, if you got offered the Big Ten, it was like for a go. And then, like, Michigan was the school that I looked at because their helmets was like ours, the Wolverine helmets. So it was like, you know what I mean? And I really had liked them at the time. They had Mario Manning that was getting recruited at the time. And me and him had seen each other previously in their junior year at the Nike camp. So for me, it was just like, man, I already know Mario, you know what I'm saying, things of that sort. The pro and the con of social media, like, I may have been at Michigan if we had social media with Mario, you know what I mean, and we could have talked more, but we dealing on house phones back then. Like, it was too many of us in the household for me to really, you know what I mean, sit around and talk to a guy across the country. You know what I mean? I ain't have no mobile phone. It wasn't no such thing as
you definitely had call waiting too, but
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, there's too many people in the house be sitting up there holding up the phone. Somebody gonna tell you they got to make a phone call. So, you know what I mean? Maybe
remember those days.
Who would have known? You know, who knows what would have been if, you know what I mean, had social media.
Sneak on the phone at nighttime to try to get the time in, but here nor there. Go ahead.
Yeah, but the commitment Mizzou made to me then, you know what I mean, didn't promise me anything but an education. That's the only thing Coach Pinko and his staff promised me. Like, they didn't promise my mom that, oh, he'll go to the NFL, things of that sort. They promised my mom, your son will graduate from the University of Missouri. And, you know, that was it. Everything else was pretty much on me. And I think a lot of families need that clarity with going through the recruiting process. No matter how good your son is or your daughter is in a sport in high school, you have to be a different person to make it to that next level. You know, you have to really be disciplined in what you're trying to accomplish. And, you know, for me, I wanted to play as a freshman when I got in there, and I worked my tail off to play as a freshman. You know what I mean? When I came to my sophomore year, I told myself I'm starting as a sophomore. But that was me coaching myself up and being determined in what I want to do. And no matter how much talent you have in the world, man, if you don't have that determination, it really sets you back, because you'll start going through mental issues with denying or feeling you're not good enough at that level. And that's why you see a lot of kids in the transfer portal now because of that. You know what I mean? Like, you got to have real willpower to want to get yourself to the next level. Because it's not personal at that level, it's business. You know what I mean? So there's always a recruit coming in. There's always a transfer that can come in. It's a business. So if you're putting out the best you and you're getting results on it, then your opportunity opens up wider. But if you're sitting there and you wait for the next man to feel sorry for you or want you to the next man to help you get on the field, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, everybody trying to get on the field.
So you try to tell your players they got to man up or tell the young ladies woman up. If you went to college,
you have to. You know what I mean? Anyone that been in college and played college sports knows that, like, man, it ain't easy. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of good players in college.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, that's just what it is. If you good at your school, there's someone good at Nebraska, there's someone good at Kansas. So you got to really compete. You know what I mean? I know one of the advice that my uncle gave me when I first got to college was watch the film on your DBs on your team. And I was like, wow, I ain't going to play against them in the season. He was like, them the first one you're going to compete against every day.
Yep.
So for me, I had to understand early how to watch film, one, and then two, how to diagnose each corner. Okay, he's a quick corner. He's a strong corner. He got kind of both. You know what I mean? He's balanced. You know what I mean? Like, okay, how do I outsmart him? Because he got good feet. He's strong. So I can't let him get my hands on it, but I also got to make sure I use some type of action to draw separation. So I had to learn this early as a freshman to be able to make the travel team. And once I made the travel team, like, all right, you know what I mean? How do I get on the field now? Like, you can make the travel team, but that don't mean you're going to get in that game. So I had to, do a little more studying on the playbook. You know what I mean? Start mastering the playbook. And then from there, everything else started to, just happen for me.
Tell us about the legendary Coach Pinkel.
Oh, man. Coach was phenomenal, man. Coach put me on the contract, man. He put me on the contract. The contract may have saved my life, though. He put me on the contract, man. I was around there tripping, man. I thought I was Eli Vashon, man.
What? Come on, Coach.
Man, I was around there fighting and everything.
Oh, man.
You was in the hood for real, dude.
Hey, man, look, man.
Come on.
Hey, man.
That St. Louis side couldn't come out of you, huh?
Oh, man, it had to, man.
Can never let y'all just be good in another city. You still show y'all colors and your...
Yeah, man. I was around there tripping as freshman and sophomore, man. It's different when you come, you know what I mean, like, from an inner city environment. Like, everything around you is black.
True. Yeah. St. Louis, Columbia.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Literally.
Yeah, you go into, you know what I mean, environment full of nothing, you know what I'm saying, with almost 90% black, you know, I mean, white, and you see one of your teammates, a lot of your peers is black. But the coaches to the academics to the professors, like, they white, you know what I mean? And then you got some black dudes, you know what I mean? Like, I always say a different kind of blacks. You know what I mean? You got your Negroes, you got some black people, you know what I mean? Like, and for me, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, for me, you got, you know what I'm saying? Like, growing up then, you know what I mean? If you went to certain schools, you were kind of well off back then. You know what I mean? When you talking about suburban schools, your family.
Yeah, thank God y'all say Metro was like that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Y'all were, but. No, that's, you know what I mean, your family's kind of well off, you know what I mean, and I would get mad at certain teammates when you try to brag about a struggle lifestyle. Like, I took it personally, like, man, stop it, man, like, I keep going on 70 when you deport and going 270. Like, I keep going on 70, like, where I get off at, like, you probably wouldn't. You know what I mean? So why you bragging about it? You such a thug and you all this, like, don't be down. You know what I'm saying? Like, what we here for if you want to be a gangster? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I was fighting cats like that, like, man, stop it, man. Like, you can't even come back in the neighborhood with me. Like, I was standing on that. You know what I mean? Like, we can have some words or we can, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't scared to fight. You know what I mean? Like, I've been fighting my whole life.
Or the V side out of you, the North St. Louis.
Yeah, like straight up.
Talk about us, we in other cities. Y'all from St. Louis, here y'all go.
Yeah, they know we wild. Everywhere we go, St. Louis has got a label. You know what I mean? Like,
I know. They be like, that's St. Louis. I'm like.
Thank y'all, all who have went before me and traveled a lot of places I traveled. Thank y'all, because we just give respect just because now. You know?
Look, it wasn't me. I mean, when I was in college, people thought I was from Kansas City because how I talked. But I'm like, no, I'm from St. Louis all day. Then I tell you about the blocks and stuff, and they're like, oh, okay. Or, you push my button too far, here comes the St. Louis.
Like, she a killer.
St. Louis people who have touched different states in this country have left a mark in every city.
Right. I will concur.
And people, I'll be asking, like, why y'all love this place? You know what I mean? But, like, people love St. Louis and love St. Louis people. You know what I mean?
We get tired of playing, we want to leave.
Yeah, I'm like, man, shoot. You know what I mean? But I'm thankful for all because I went to different cities, and of course, I wear my St. Louis cap when I'm out of town. And people like, man, y'all real people. Y'all, you know what I mean? Like,
that's real talk, though.
Yeah,
straight up.
You know what I mean? So those things, my early on years at Mizzou, you know what I mean? Like, I was rough, and Coach Piggle put me on this contract, and this contract had me like I couldn't get in no trouble. I get kicked out.
Ooh.
And so it really made me, you know what I mean, like buckle down. Like I had to, you know what I mean, like walk a fine line. But that fine line really helped me understand the importance of life. At that time, I was just like any other 19, 20-year-old in college, you know, not thinking of what's next. You just in the moment. You know what I mean? And that contract, I was like, dang, this man really gonna talk about putting me out, man, because I'm fighting, you know what I mean? But is this truly like how you want to be remembered? You know what I mean? And for me, I had to make a change. You know what I mean? I ended up having a daughter my sophomore year in college. I seen a teammate of mine's passing. He passed on the field, Aaron O'Neal.
Right.
So a lot of things had took place, and it woke me up. You know what I mean? It just really made me like, man, you cannot continue life this way. You know what I mean? Like
that matured you.
Yeah, every other, you know what I'm saying? I quit answering my phone in college because I got tired of getting phone calls. This person died. You know what I mean? You know, you get them phone calls in college, and then you see one of your teammates pass of doing something that, you know, you love, was football. So that contract really shook me, and it got me to be the person I am today, because it really made me start valuing things that I didn't take serious at the time.
That's what's up, man. So this is the Platform Sports Talk Show. I am your boy Smooth, along with
Bunny,
and we have a special guest,
Will Franklin.
Hey, he got it. He got it.
And then toss that pass to you real quick, Coach. And toss that pass.
Yeah.
Hey, no practice was needed. He already knew what was happening. So you know what? Yeah. See, this man been used to being, you know, in the media a little bit. Right. You know, getting those post game interviews going. So he knows what's happening a little bit.
This is so natural. That boy good. He's so talented.
So
yeah, man.
So going to Mizzou, and you brought up some incredible points earlier about the contract and what you experienced, you know, with Aaron O'Neal passing, and there's so much stuff going on. When you stepped into Mizzou freshman year, like, okay, it's a whole new atmosphere, a whole new thing. Was there any sort of, like, I want to say maybe intimidation, but how was that process of coming from a high school to now going to a university?
I had it kind of good coming in as a freshman. My big brother, Arnold Brick, was there at the time. You know what I mean? He was in a receiver room, so right away when I got to town, I moved in with him, and he was able to literally walk me through how to be a college student. You know what I mean? Then on the other side, I had Jimmy in basketball.
Right.
So I had some, you know what I mean? Like, for me, I had a dynamic of people to help me where I truly didn't experience a lot of the hardship freshmen had, because I had such older guys and mature guys that had been around their town, been around the programs, and they knew. So it was a real blessing to be in a room for 2 years with me to help me through those headaches. You know what I mean? They used to crack a joke, and they'd be like, yeah, Vashon and Vashon smack. So every time we used to talk, they're like, man, whatever, man. And so that was like a ongoing joke around our football facility. Like, man, Vashon players, they always, you know what I mean? So being able to have AB around, Jimmy around, actually my principal, Miss Smith, was there at the time. It was some people from Vashon that was already on campus. You know what I mean? And came to the school. So it was a nice little community of us there that made it comfortable where I didn't go through a lot of hardships.
You didn't have a big culture shock.
Yeah, I actually was able to experience a lot of things early on, and on the back half of my career, it was just like, man, I'm ready for another step in life because I experienced a lot early, and what you call mature. I matured faster than a lot of other of my peers at that time, and when I became a junior and senior, man, you know what I mean, like things that you want to do, the house boys, the going out, like. I was so over it, you know what I mean? I was more concerned about, like, man, how can I get myself to the league? You know what I mean? Like, I quit hanging out. The drinking I did do, you know what I mean? Like, I calmed down on that. You know what I mean? I just put more into my craft so that I can have the opportunity that I had.
So one of the spots that the football players out heard, they used to hang out at Columbia's Biggest Bar and Grill. Did you ever go there?
You said, which bar and grill?
I think biggest, what's it called? Biggest
Big
Bar?
12. It was Big 12.
Okay.
So you had Field House.
Right.
And you had Big 12. You know what I mean? Them with the two, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I had some unique big brothers when I got to Mizzou. From AB to Jimmy. Then I had Damian Nash. You know what I mean? That was my big brother. I dedicated my senior season to him because he passed in my junior year of high school. College. I had Damian Nash, I had C.J. Mosley, I had Sean Coffey. I had a bunch of guys just like...
Man, y'all had a squad. Y'all had a squad.
Yeah, we had it, you know what I mean? And they really, Atia Ellison, else from St. Louis, like, they took me under their wings, like, we ain't gonna let you go off the gridiron. Like, you follow us, you be with us, we got you. You know what I mean? So, I was protected. And I was, you know what I mean, I also got the chance to see a lot of things, you know what I mean, with those guys. And I seen Nash go, I seen Atia go, I seen CJ go, I seen these guys get drafted. So when they left me, it was just like, man, I'm going where they at. Like, they ain't gonna keep coming in town with these cars and this money and all this. And I ain't gonna be the one, you know what I mean? Like, I'm joining that crew too. You know what I mean? So that put more fire in me, like, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool to have friends that got that stuff, but you know what I mean. You want to be one of them friends with that,
right?
You know what I mean. So, I was blessed, man.
And then, to end up breaking numerous records at Mizzou, how did that make you feel personally when you start seeing that you're reaching heights that a lot of people couldn't reach?
It was I didn't know that until. Like, I was actually going through the draft process. Like, I didn't know that I was in those categories of receiving catches and yards. Like, I didn't know that at all until after the fact. And for me, it was always just get better every year. You know what I mean? You try to improve in some area every year. And every year my numbers went up. But I didn't know until, like, literally when I was going through the draft process and you started getting asked the questions like, you leave Mizzou and you're number 7 on a all-time passing list and an all-time catch list. And it's like, like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, you know what I mean? But it didn't dawn on me like, man, this school been open 100+ years. You know what I mean? They've had over 30,000 you know what I mean, football scholarship players come through there that play wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like, that didn't dawn on me, man. And it's still an amazing accomplishment, especially now how the game is just a real passing game now. You know what I mean? To still be sitting there in the top 10, man, that's an honor.
Who was the quarterback during the time? Was that James Franklin?
No, my quarterback was Brad Smith and Chase Daniels.
Oh, okay. Okay, during those years. Okay, that's right.
Chase was a big dude, right? He was a big...
He was a chubby dude.
Yeah, okay. He was a typical quarterback physique. Yeah.
He can sling that ball though, man.
But Jones was thinner and taller though, right?
Who was?
Brad. You said Jones?
Brad Smith.
Brad Smith. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Corbin Jones. Never mind.
Yeah, Corbin was there before. He was gone before I got there.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, man. So those were some special years between Brad Smith and Chase Daniel, and then going to James Franklin and Matty Mark.
Yep.
You know, you talking about some great QBs. They changed the game.
You skipped over Blaine, though.
Blaine Gabbert. Exactly. Exactly. So, playing at Mizzou, how was it playing there? And then what is a place that you played that you was like, wow, this is crazy, the atmosphere that we're at? Because back then, you know, that was the Big 12.
Yeah.
Playing up, it was crazy, man. When my senior year, when we were in the top 10, like, every game was a sellout. Like, every game. And to see the amount of people just show up, you know what I mean, and they there hours before the game tailgate, like, it was crazy. The game that forever, and I know 90% of my teammates will agree with me from that team, was the KU game that year.
That rivalry game.
It was a rivalry game. We played at Arrowhead.
Right.
And I remember it because Kanye had just dropped his album that has Big Brother on it in Flashing Lights.
Yeah.
Whatever the album that was. He had just dropped that album. We was all jamming to it. We were like, Kanye. And we about to play KU at Arrowhead. And we leave the hotel, and the hotel we were staying with was in downtown Kansas City, which is like 15 minutes from the stadium. So we jump on 70 to come to the stadium. And as we got close to it, we were stuck in traffic probably another hour. For that many, if you ever been to Kansas City Chiefs game, they have a huge parking lot amongst their stadium.
Right. It
took us an hour with police escorts to get inside and get to the stadium. It was over 75,000 split up, black and gold, red and blue. And that was for me, one of the most memorable games ever. You know what I mean? Like, and we ended up becoming the number one team in the country after that win.
Okay.
But you know what? Because you just brought a bad taste in my mouth because of how they did y'all wrong in the rankings. Man. Ain't no way that y'all beat KU, but then they still was able to go to a BCS game.
BCS Bowl. Yep.
That was crazy.
Yep. It
was politics, right? In the back home, doing on the rankings.
We beat KU and we beat Illinois that year, and both of them went to BCS Bowls.
Right. I couldn't believe that. I was like, how in the hell did they choose those teams, especially KU, over Mizzou?
They are the right people that do the rankings?
We only lost to one team that year.
Oklahoma. Right.
We lost to Oklahoma twice that year. The thing that, you later find out about this stuff is a lot of those bowl picking people are picking based off their fan travel.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
they're
trying to think of the money for that town hosting that, and at that time Mizzou didn't travel well because we had never been consistently at that point of a ranked team beating all these people, so we had just started picking up traction. But yeah, man, we got robbed. We ended up finishing number 4 in the country that year because we beat the hell out of Arkansas.
I loved it.
We beat the hell out of them. Like, no bull. Like when we lost the Big 12 championship game, a lot of us seniors, you know what I mean? Like we were still locked in. And I don't know other programs after they play championship games and think about the bowl games. Most guys start thinking about agents and getting ready to go pursue their pro career, but we were still locked in. We was like, man, we should have beat the hell out of them. Before we even got to Dallas, like, man, they got to feel our pain. We went from 1 to number 7 off one game, and we got them. It was just on. Like, Arkansas ain't have a chance in hell.
They felt y'all wrath.
When they kicked that ball off, we let them have it. Like,
brought it to them.
Game was over in the first half.
Yeah.
Felix Jones and Darren McFadden, they shoulder pass up at halftime.
Sure did.
Yeah, y'all gonna get ready for y'all post stuff.
And McFadden was all the hype for Arkansas being running back in the top 3 pick in the draft and all of that. Yeah.
Man, we let them have it. they had to feel our pain. Like I said, we finished number 4 in the country, man. I still got my bowl ring from it. A lot of others I have gave away to my family, but that one I wouldn't give them that one away. Right. We earned that one.
I earned this one all the way.
Yeah, we earned this one.
So we discussed the recruitment process in high school. We've had previous guests on our show. A man that you may know. He's currently a pastor now. Tip of the tongue. All of a sudden, just kind of lost my train of thought.
Cause I'm looking like Franklin, like what you talking about? I'm like,
yeah. So Butler by Note.
Yeah.
So he went to Ohio State. We asked him about his process of the draft, and he was saying it was terrible. We've asked other guys who were who went to the draft, and we never had like a very great story from the draft process. Yeah. So
or the combine.
Right. So tell us about that process of the draft and the combine.
It was a great experience, both of them. For me, to get invited to the combine, man, is special in itself. I don't know if everybody really knows, man, but in college sports, it's well over like 3,000, 4,000 student athletes every year. My year, I was in a draft alone. It was 367 receivers. In the draft, I was number 14 out of 367 receivers, 65, 67, one of them. And to get invited to the combine, that was a compliment in itself. But the whole experience, man, it's a real job orientation, but in the sports world. You know what I mean? You go, you're doing a bunch of media interviews, you're doing nonstop talking to teams. You know what I mean? They put you in rooms, and in one room, it might be 10 teams, and you're talking to 10 different representatives from them teams at one time. You know what I mean? So just that, to sit in front of some of the teams that invited me to the room. I sat in front of Dallas Cowboys with Jerry Jones in the room, the Dolphins at the time, Philadelphia, Kansas City Chiefs. I sat in front of all of them. I was invited to their suite. And just, being able to talk to them, let them see who I am, being able to get on the board and talk about what happened during this play and what I was thinking. Also, they'll pull up some bad plays, like what was you thinking here, or a drop or something like that, just to be able to talk through that stuff. And then just the whole getting to the field part. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't even got to the field, but the talking is so to get to the field part, you know what I mean? Like, that's what you've been training for since January. To run your 3-cone, your eye test, your 40. That's what you work for. You know what I mean? So for me, I didn't know what I had done when I ran my 40 time. The first time I ran it, I had run it at a 4.38, and some of the guys that had been training with me in Arizona ran up to me, just jumping on me. And I'm like, boy, you know what you just did? I'm like, no. You know what I mean? They're like, he just ran a 4.3. And you get 2 times to run it. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, I ain't ran no 4.3. And slowly but for surely, different teams that were on the field started walking up to me, and they were taking my number down, and they were also giving me, asking me, you know what I mean, if I'm going to do certain things or if I'm going to do it at pro day. I was like, you know what I mean, at the time, like, man, I'm doing it at pro day. I'm steady trying to walk off and get my bag. You know what I mean? Hey, no, you got another run. You know what I mean? So I get back up, and I ran a 4.37. And when I seen that, I was like, whoa, you know what I mean? And now all 32 teams start asking, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Are you going to continue to work out? Or are you going to, you know what I mean? Are you going to pro day? So I was like, man, I'm going to do my field. I'm going to do the gunlet drill and the rest of the routes on there here. But the testing stuff I'm going to do back in Columbia. Like, I literally just started hyperventilating. Like, I started like, okay, no, you know what I mean? Because I knew at that time that I had changed my family life. Mm-hmm. I knew right then and there, like, you know what I mean? And I couldn't get dressed fast enough to get back to the hotel. And I remember my hotel roommate was LaVelle Hawkins. He had got drafted by the Tennessee Titans. He trained in Vegas with me as well. He ran and hugged me when I walked in the room. He like, bro, we made it. We gonna get drafted. We made it. And you know what I'm saying? We hugged. You know what I mean? We like, yeah, man, I can't wait to get back on the flight so we get back to this warm weather in Arizona. I step outside the room and I called my mom. I was like, Mom, we made it. And that's all, you know what I mean? She was like, what? And I got to crying. I'm like, Mom, we made it. Like,
that's beautiful.
From there, you know what I mean? Different things started happening. You know what I mean? My agent started getting more calls from teams. They wanted to fly me in to do personal interviews. I started getting trade card endorsements. Different kind of endorsements started coming in. So, you know what I mean? That experience there was, you know what I mean? It was life changing. And to be to the draft standpoint, that was even more, you know what I mean? I knew I would get drafted. I had a couple of teams actually tell me, you know what I mean, they were looking to take receiver in the first round. So it had me excited. I had a relationship with Albert Pujols at the time, and he had a restaurant in Westport,
right?
Pujols 5.
Yep.
And you know, he told me, you know what I mean, if that time came, that he allowed me to use his restaurant for my draft party. So I had my draft party. Yeah, man, Albert's a great guy, man. I had my draft party at Pujols 5. Didn't get drafted first day, which was a Saturday back then. I was asleep when I got the phone call Sunday morning.
Oh wow!
I was asleep. I was down. You know what I mean? Because I thought I just knew for sure I'd go in them first 3 rounds. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, like I'm the 14th receiver. When the receivers start going in the second round, I'm like, oh, I'm up. Like, you know what I mean? And I was down, so I was home and I was actually asleep, and I heard the phone ringing. At the time, I had 2 phones that, you know what I mean, that we used for it during the time, and I heard the phone ringing, and I just heard steps, like my family and stuff running, you know what I mean, because they knew that was the phone that the call was going to come on, you know what I mean, and I got in, I heard one of the most energizing voices in the world, and it was Herm Edwards.
Wow.
Yeah, man, Herm over there.
You play
helicopter. Is this helicopter? And I'm like, yes, this is helicopter. He's like, this is Herm Edwards, the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'm like, what's up, Coach? How you doing? He's like, I'm just calling to let you know now. You know what I mean? We're about to call your name. If you're watching ESPN, if you're not, turn it on. Your name is about to come across. And I sat there on the phone, and it came across the ticker line, and you know, everybody in the background, like they doing all this in the background, you know, and it was surreal, you know what I mean, to see, you know, everybody's face, and you know what I mean, to actually get that call, knowing that every year there's guys that don't get that call. So it was an experience for me, just a blessing, man. And you know, I wouldn't take it back for anything.
Do you feel that was like your proudest moment in your life? Outside of being a father, but just in regards to your football career, do you feel that was like that biggest moment in your life that you know that you made your mom proud, your family proud?
Yes.
Good.
That's what's up. Tell us about them years when NCAA football, the game, was big time, and you was on it, because I recall playing with you, playing as you on that game, and then also being on Madden. Like, tell us about that. You know, that your mindset. You know, you see yourself on the game. Maybe it not have been like your actual face, you know, but knowing it was your likeness. Because Bunny, I know that you were big on the NCAA and the likeness and athletes getting paid. Which, you know, I'm pretty sure you had some follow-up questions behind that. But just tell us from your standpoint, Will, about your likeness being on NCAA football and then eventually being on Madden.
You know what's crazy? I don't play video games. I never have. So it was always like my family members, more so like my little brother that was like more excited about it. Like, man, you on the college game, man. You on this. I got to get the updated list. Like every August, I guess, you know what I mean, a new one came out and then they updated the roster or list and whatever. So it was crazy. And that's that point for us college. Like it really became surreal. And I actually tried to play myself when I got on Madden. Like, you know what I mean? It was like, dang, like I'm on Madden and like I'm one of the fastest people on Madden. You know what I'm saying? Like I had a speed of, I think it was like 93. You know what I mean? So that was like for real, I'm super dope. My little brother actually just told me 2 weekends ago, me and him was hanging out together, just, you know, he was like, man, I haven't played a Madden game since you was on it.
Wow.
I was like, really? Like, man, you don't know how much that like really inspired me and like just knowing that like this my brother. Like if I could have created you 50 times on a game, I would have to keep playing with you. But like you was straight up on a Madden game. He was like, man, I ain't played Madden since then. You know what I mean? And that was his first time ever sharing it with me. So, you know what I mean? Like we had like a little brother moment. But that was that whole experience of just knowing, you know what I mean, like my family, my friends, my peers that I went to school with, you know what I mean, to come in contact with them and see them, and they be like, man, I played you on Madden, or I played you on NCAA, you know what I mean, or keep making me proud, you know what I mean, like those things, it meant the world to me, you know, you know, everybody can pat you on the back and say how well you're doing. Sometimes, you know what I mean, like hearing it from those who you care for the most means the most. You know what I mean? So that was pretty dope experience.
Well, let me ask you this. Speaking of Madden and NCAA games, so do you think people now, or specifically, not athletes, I don't know, between the athletes and the fans, do they take the rankings too seriously? You know, every when they come out with the rankings and people, oh, they got this person ranked this.
Yeah, man, that there, man, because it was crazy, man. It goes to these young kids' head now, and they quit working. You know what I mean? Like you can get those rankings, but if you don't get out there and produce, that rankings mean nothing. You know what I mean? You see it year in, year out. You know what I mean? Guys can be ranked in the country coming out of high school and they get to college, man, they disappear. You be like, dang, man, I thought the kid was a 4-star. I thought the kid was a 5-star. And they disappear at different campuses. And you like, dang, you know what I mean? Like I thought he was, you know what I mean? He's supposed to be this good an athlete at his position. But again, like I said earlier in this interview, you got to be a different person when you step in college. Like you cannot take the analogy of I can play when a light switch come on in practice. You know what I mean? Practice don't mean anything. Like at that level, man, you got to produce every day to make it to a Saturday when you're talking about football. You know what I mean? And when I say produce, that's how you living off the field. That's how you take care of your academics. That's how you approach your practice. You know what I mean? When I started approaching practice, like, man, it's a game, my career changed in college. You know what I mean? When I stopped looking at it like, man, I don't really want to go to practice, man. This would be a long day. Man, I got an 8 o'clock class, and then, man, we got a 7 o'clock meeting before that class. So when I stopped complaining about those little things and locked into like, man, like everyone in the country is doing this. All right? You know what I mean? Like everyone's doing this. Like, what are you going to do? You going to sit and cry about it, or you going to, all right, accept it, challenge it, and go about it? So when I made that change, you know what I mean? So for these young guys, these rankings, they get them, man, like, if you got it, make sure you can go out there and produce the way they're ranking you. You know what I mean? Like, don't just have it, say you had it in high school and 5 years from now you still living off what you did in high school. Like, that ain't it.
That's what I tell people when it comes to ACT score. As soon as your big toe step on a college campus, nobody care what you did in high school, how smart you were.
Because it's somebody else there that probably have the same score you got.
All right.
You know what I mean? That's just what it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's so many people in the world, man. Like, you can never quit working on what you say you're good at. You know what I mean? It's how do you separate yourself from that person. We all may have the same credentials, but one of us may be lazy with them same credentials. One of us may just be a workaholic.
So before we continue on in regards to the pros, a few more questions in regards to Mizzou. Do you feel Mizzou has some of the best uniforms in the game
right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like the shiny gold helmets personally.
The new equipment guy there, Mike, he got there a couple years ago when I was still there. He came from Louisville. And so he was the equipment manager at Louisville that brought out the shiny helmet that Louisville wears now.
Yeah.
So when we got him, I was like, it's on.
So wait. You just brought something up my Bible. So the equipment manager is the one who gets to say what style, what colors, what shape, all of that? The equipment, not the AD, not the coach. That's the equipment manager.
The head football coach and the head equipment guy. The equipment guy come up with the design and they propose it to the coach. You know what I mean? And the coach, you know what I mean? Sometimes they allow players to do it. Sometimes they have the staff. You know what I mean? But Mike does a hell of a job with the helmet decals, the different color schemes. Like Mizzou never had all gold helmets. You know what I mean?
Them boys is hot though.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So when they brought those out a couple years ago, it was like, oh shoot. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So it's some different things, man. That stuff plays a big part in recruiting now.
Recruiting, yeah.
I mean,
like you said earlier, you said Wolverines in Michigan. You use just because you saw yours from high school. I want to go there. That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. The combinations are sick at Mizzou, man.
I have no equipment, man. Boy, that is to me. I can do that as a career one day, huh? Let me just design stuff. Let me see what's cool. Hire me. Take off with it.
Buddy, it's not too late, okay? It ain't too late.
You already know what I'm doing now is what I love to do. Come on. Right here, what we doing? Equipment manager? Nah, I'm just playing.
So we talked about Coach Pinkel, or you did. What are your thoughts now on the impact of Eli Drinkwitz?
I love it. You know what I mean? I love it, man. It's, you know, my time down there when I worked under Odom was great. You know what I mean? The university decided to go in another direction, and I think they picked a hell of a guy to, you know, kick the program off with all the things they have to offer now. You know what I mean? Having that soft end zone is a big recruiting tool. You know what I mean? And then just having a coach back there that, you know what I mean, how he has attacked the community here in St. Louis and Kansas City, making it a priority. You know what I mean? He's done a wonderful job so far. It's great. You know what I mean? I love seeing where they are right now. I love seeing the progress they have made from week 1 to now week 9. It is beautiful. You know what I mean? And that's, again, what me and you were talking about, Bunny, as far as the process. Like, a lot of things don't just happen. You know what I mean? And for him to come in and get those guys, no different than Brandon Spain, to get those guys to buy in what he's selling. You know what I mean? Those are not his kids. He didn't recruit no kid there. You know what I mean? Those are all Barry Odom recruits and players. And to be able to get those kids like, all right, man, we're going to listen to what this coach and his staff is saying and buy into it and actually go out there and produce the way they're producing, man. That just says a lot about who he is and what type of staff he has around his team.
Okay.
It's incredible.
Let me ask you this. Can you – go ahead.
No, you go ahead, buddy.
Are you allowed to, since you're an alum of Mizzou and you're a coach for a high school, have camps, clinicals on behalf of Mizzou at your high school? Like to get, you already said how Drinkwitz got a presence in St. Louis, but to even in your neighborhood, your backyard, are you allowed to do that?
No, not. You know, they just go back into some of the rules the NCAA has with high school and college. You know, they'll be considered recruiting. You know what I mean? So it can put our school in probation for 2 years if that was to happen. You know, and they can recruit a kid out of Vashon. You know what I mean? So it just
the only thing they can do without having officially just you wearing your Mizzou stuff, because you're an alum, so you can wear the stuff, right?
Yeah. I can wear the stuff. I can't do anything as far as, you know what I'm saying, like you were asking, like host a camp and it's on behalf of Mizzou. Like, nah.
Okay. Be a walking billboard. I know the kids is looking. Every move you do,
So once again, this is the Platform Sports Talk Show. Another great show here for all those who's watching right now. I am your boy Smooth, along with
Bunny
and special guest
Will Franklin.
There it is. All right, so I understand that you have to go pretty soon. So I'm just gonna ask a few more questions because you know it's this show here, we just have so many great conversations that, time just goes by, and it just be, it be great memories, that you bring up, etc. So just a few more questions, and, just feel free to, you don't have to elaborate so much, but just want to get some questions out there for you. So going to the Chiefs, you were drafted in the 4th round, 2008. Going to play for them, you played there at college, and then now that was your home. How was your overall experience, would you feel, as being in the NFL?
Man, it was amazing, man. My locker was right next to Tony Gonzalez. And to be able to come in every day and watch a Hall of Famer just do the same routine daily. Like, he had 2 lockers, and one of the lockers, he had every vitamin in the world, every pre-workout, post-workout in the world in there. And he's like, man, why are you taking all this stuff? You know what I mean? Like, why, you know what I mean? And you don't understand as a youngster that your body is your profession at that level. Like, everything about your body is your profession. And I'm like, dang, man, like, you need all that to just go to practice? You know what I mean? But to be able to sit there week after week and see, you know what I mean, like, how this guy go about. And then Sundays, he go out there and produce. You know what I mean? That was special to me. You know what I mean? Because I went from there to, I was in Detroit, and I seen the same similarity in Calvin Johnson. It's like, dang, like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm actually in a room with him, so I'm just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I went from being in a room with Dwayne Bowe to Calvin Johnson. It was like, all right, Dwayne Bowe good, but this dude great. You know what I mean? And you see greatness when this person, you know what I mean, not only is he the ultimate teammate, but he works at his crafts consistently. You know what I mean? So that whole experience while I was there and just seeing, like, you know what I mean, like, he a Hall of Famer, like, you can see, or he a Pro Bowler, or he, you know what I mean, like, he first team offense or first team defense, you know what I mean, like, you can see those guys and really appreciate it and understand, you know what I mean, like, you still special in your own route, you know what I mean, of just being there to witness it, you know what I mean, and I never played special teams, you know what I mean, when I was in college, and I look up, it's me and Jamal Charles, kickoff and kickoff return, you know what I mean, like, we gunners, you know what I mean, we turn around and, you know what I mean, he the returner, I'm the off returner, and me and him back there as rookies returning kicks and things of that sort, or, you know, it's those experiences that, you know what I mean, that you can look back on for me and just like, yeah, like, you actually did it. Like, you ain't just sit on the sideline, you know what I mean? Like, your stat line may not look like you played a lot of games, but I played in, from the time I got back, I played in every game after that, you know what I mean? So it was, man, it was a hell of an experience. Going against some of your going against Chad Bailey was one of the dope experience. You know, he's one of the best corners in the league growing up. And when I stepped on the field, man, and lined up against him for the first time, I was like, damn, like, I'm really in the league.
Right.
This champ. You know what I mean? Like, this champ. You know what I mean? Like, champ telling me slow down. Like, I'm a kid in the candy store right now because he's talking to me. You know what I mean? So that's those little experience of, you know what I'm saying, knowing, again, a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? Quentin Jammer, another Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? He was a guy in my agency. To be able to interact with Marshawn the way I was able to, because we was under the same agency, and you know what I mean, we kind of had the same little knuckleheadness to him, but I went as well as Marshawn. But to be able to just, you know what I mean, be amongst them guys, hell of an experience, man.
That's what's up, man. How was it playing from college stadiums to the NFL stadiums?
Man, it went from a high to a low.
Really?
Really? Man, yeah, man. Like, it's nothing like college sports, man.
Yeah.
Like, nothing, man. I feel bad for the college atmosphere now, for those who have never got to experience packed houses, you know what I mean, right now because of the pandemic. But you can go to Texas and play in front of 100,000.
Right.
But you can go to the Texas game and play in front of 40,000. You know what I mean? Like, I remember going into Texas my freshman year, and I was like, this 100,000. Like, this straight up, like, 100,000 people in one place. You know what I mean? Then I remember going to like the Georgia Dome and seeing, you know what I mean, 30,000 people. You know what I mean? It's that college atmosphere is just super exciting, man. Like it's nothing like it.
So now, had the NFL career. First off, how many years did you play in the NFL?
I'm credited for 2.
Okay, so what was the reason that it was just 2 years?
It's where the business goes sometimes, man. You know, it's. I always say, you know what I'm saying, situations, man. If you're a mid-round guy, a low-round guy, man, I pray they always go to situations of teams to where it's an organization that's known for winning and consistent winning, like a Pittsburgh, like a New England. You know, those who they give you time to develop. You know what I mean? They give you time to understand how to be a professional. When you go into losing situations, that coach, that GM is already on the hot seat. You know what I mean? Like their days are just as number as anyone else's days is number. So, you know, for me, it was tough just going to Kansas City, knowing that previous year they was coming off a losing season, and we going to a losing season itself. And sure enough, they fired Herm after the first year. You know what I mean? That stuff happened. Then you start bouncing around. You know what I mean? Then you may not be a fit for someone else. You know what I mean? So it's different. It's the business part. You know what I mean? And a lot of guys will tell you, man, that's why you have to appreciate your high school days and even your college days. You know what I mean? Because at the next level, you're not one of them guys that they are invested millions in already in any given day. And right now, as you see, they cut millionaires. You know?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, no one's safe at that level, you know what I mean? Because it's just a business, and it's becoming super business oriented now, you know what I mean, with the power of social media, you know what I mean? So you do the wrong thing now, you really getting out of their organization. Like, they'll take their loss, you know what I mean? So for me, it was pretty much that, man. Just that happens.
So then so how did everything happen with you going back to your alma mater, first as a head coach and now as the athletic director at Vashon High School?
So I was at Mizzou the last 5 years as director of football player development. So I held that position there for the last 5 years. My friends, Tony, Jim McKinney, John Albert, guys, they were, you know, always in my ear like, man, you come back and, you know, I know you can get the kids. I know you can get some guys down here to build this football program. But I wasn't going, man. I'm like, no. And just being honest, man, God spoke to me. He was like, you got to go there. And I had got to a point in my life where I quit ignoring things that he tell me to do. And I was like, man, are you sure? I kept asking, like, you sure? Like, I don't want to go back to the environment, man. These Negroes off the chain, man.
Even though sometime in their life, you was some type of Negroes. You
you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Like, I was really asking him, you know what I mean? Like, man, like, are you sure? And he kept confirming to me, like, I need to be here. You know, so here I am, you know what I mean? Just trying to do what he's asking, being submissive, and obedient to him, and, you know, see what I can do with my gift that he gave me.
And then in regards to athletic director, what led to you taking that role?
That was always a part of what I was supposed to come back here for. You know what I mean? Because I held an administrative role with director of player development at Mizzou already, you know what I mean? But it was just something that, you know what I mean, I wanted to do to make sure I can, you know, just bring the balance of power to all the sports here at Vashon, you know what I mean? Non-biased guy, you know what I mean? And just give us a chance to, you know, one, allow Tony to be what he needs to be for the boys basketball program. Allow our girls coach to be what they need to be for it. You know what I mean? Just give everybody else a chance to, you know what I mean? Tony's been working his ass off in this position the last 5-6 years since he got to Vashon. And there's different steps in his career that he wants to take. You know what I mean? So him being more of an administrator, like he's able to do some things now that he couldn't do in that role, and then just the free time of just being a basketball coach. That man loves the game of basketball. It was an amazing accomplishment just to see how many guys he had on the court when NCAA kicked off 2 weeks ago, and this guy got 14, 15 kids playing college basketball.
Right.
So to sit back and watch him accomplish things like that, and knowing that he got another group that he can see off and, actually be amongst and continue to be the mentor, the father figure that he is to him, man. If I can take this role to be that, to allow him to be that, and me growing to my own role, why not?
Yeah, and that's what I want to ask you next. We've had John Albert on the show. I've known him, since my high school years. I've known Tony Irons since I was a freshman in high school. And just so amazing what they both have been doing for both basketball programs, pretty much. Because there was a time frame when Anthony Bonner was the head coach and stuff like that, and the basketball team wasn't as prolific as it is now. It kind of like had a little dead period. How does it feel? Yeah. How does it feel to you that you have been a part of bringing back that prominence in regards to Vashon basketball, while also seeing the girls basketball team starting to get there too, with John holding things down as the head coach?
Man, it's something, man. Like when I say, for me, Tony and John and Jimmy, like we literally have been talking about this for years, man. We just didn't know that it would, come, and I'm the missing piece to what we always talked about. And that's building this football program. So, to see what they're able to do and what I'm trying to do and the work that I'm putting in with what I'm trying to build in football wise, it's just something that we've been working at and talking about and as friends and visualizing for years, man. So to start to see it come to fruition, man, it's a blessing.
That's what's up, man. Thoughts on the upcoming season? I know the boys team plays in 2 days. Is it the same thing for the girls?
No, they play next week.
Okay.
It's going to be like every other thing. It's going to be challenging with all the different rules and things you got to do, and just being able to survive week to week with COVID testing, make sure your teams can get through. It's going to be exciting, man. I'm looking forward to it from both standpoints, man. I think we got excellent teams here. It's going to be fun.
So for this season, will there be any fans in the stands?
We are limited to 90 fans per game. At home, I can't control what happens away, but at home, it's 90 fans, but those are going to be mostly consumed by the players, because the players are allowed 2 guests per game. So, it's going to be tight, man. Hopefully, things work out where we live stream the game. I'm already getting millions of phone calls from the alums about how we can see the boys play. So,
do we get media relations? The media relations VIP get a way to go?
Yes. You have to contact our downtown office for
801.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Okay. All right, and it's crazy how you brought it up, because I'm supposed to be the person to provide the live stream.
See, so.
Y'all get to talking. Get to meet.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
I can't make that list because they don't want, so I can't go then. I'm either way to watch y'all.
Yeah.
Girls or boys. Other than that, if we can do it live, smooth, I would love to do a game from there. So,
we're trying to make things happen. So I know Suzanne probably been talking to you about it, but yeah, we're trying to make something happen. Have a Vashon High School network. So hopefully we can get things going. But
is that the first time you announced this publicly? So I can do like the breaking news, like.
Well, I mean, it's not any breaking news. It's not any breaking news yet, because nothing's not set in stone yet. But it's something that we're working on, because people love to see Vashon basketball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's going to be a big draw to be able to have it online when people can't go out to the game and sell out. The high school. So. Yeah. That's going to be just another avenues to provide people to watch great basketball. So we're trying to get that together. Hopefully we can, and until the vaccinations go through and things start opening up and everything. But with that being said, and hopefully we'll maybe we can talk about this outside of the show. Just seeing about if we can get some maybe some access to see some games in person. You know what I'm saying, as the media. So.
That's why I said media relations. He said 801. But spring football, y'all gonna be playing football in the springtime, so we can be outside and social distance.
Yep.
I'll be bougie. I told him on another show, I'm bougie. Put me in the press box. I don't like cold. I'm just saying.
I got you. I got you.
Yeah, man. But thank you for your time. I know you have to go. We appreciate you being on the show.
Man, thank you.
We'll definitely keep in contact, man. Best of luck to the upcoming season. And
it's right into us, Coach Franklin. No, I ain't like you don't hear about us.
Right.
You heard of me?
Right. Spread the word about the platform, Sports Talk Show, and look forward to keeping in touch with you, and hope that this COVID mess will go away as soon as possible and get back to normal. But thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. You have a good one, brother.
Yep. You too.
All right. Hey man, that was a great interview. Just getting the behind the scenes bunny of what he went through the high school ranks, through the time at Mizzou, to
I want to get some more stories. I like to ask our guests. Again, a woman that I am, I'm like, y'all don't act like y'all just nice and we just did football. What was y'all really doing? Let's get stuff that we talked about.
Hey, what
girls was y'all over here trying to finesse, and what girls hold y'all down when y'all can't talk to y'all boys because y'all feel like it ain't man enough to talk? That's what I want to hear.
And when he brought up the van in high school, I'm like, oh God,
they gonna left real fast.
I'm like, oh Lord, what am I about to say? Let's cut the feed now.
They keep it PG-13 at least.
But nah, it's incredible, him talking about realizing that he about to make it to the pros and make his family proud. A lot of people can't say that.
Unfortunate. And you know what? Really, in our community, you have people that root for you, but at the same time, they're not there supporting you on your journey to getting ready to be a drafted player, let alone once you get drafted.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy. I'm thinking like, won't you want to support one of your own instead of trying to turn them down? Like, that man ain't gonna get drafted, or he ain't gonna do nothing, or he think he all. Why don't he have to hear that when somebody's trying to do something better themselves and help their family? Yeah. And sometimes it be people's own family members. It's like, why do that?
You're right.
When that person wins, everybody wins.
Exactly. They ain't trying to stay in the JVL their whole life. They want to. They want to be able to, be in the big leagues and, have a nice little home for a nice community. You ain't trying to always be in the same place your whole life. Now, you can give back, but you ain't trying to always be in the same place your whole life. So that's when the support is needed. That's when, like I said, an empty wagon makes the most noise.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That right there. But we hope
you taught that from Coach Floyd over 20 years ago, and still relative to this day.
It's still relative to this day, because like when he said it, everybody was like quiet, like wow, like.
Because it makes you think like,
deep.
Yeah, you got a point,
yeah. That's super deep. But we hope that y'all enjoyed that conversation with Will Franklin. Real quick, just a few things that we'll go over because we're gonna save a whole lot for our guests tomorrow, which I know is going to be just another incredible show. It'll be a whole lot more local, St. Louis Blues, Cardinals, Mizzou, SLU talk, and of course also around the country and everything. What were your thoughts if you did see it? What were your thoughts on the exhibition fight with Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr.?
I only saw a few seconds, but you got to go before that. I've literally saw more stuff on social media regarding Nate Robinson getting knocked out compared to the Mike Tyson Roy Jones fight. It was like, damn, well, which one was the premier fight? Because people kept talking so bad about Nate Robinson getting knocked out.
Oh my goodness.
Damn. They're talking about, don't say you're going Nate. Say you're going Nate. Go Nate. Not going to Nate. Go Nate. He got knocked out. He just, like, people talking about they feel sorry for him. Like, why is a former NBA player out here getting trashed like that? Like, man. Dude, I saw that, Cliffy.
Hey, so
I only saw a little bit of Mike Tyson.
So, how many of your peoples was doing the Nate Robinson challenge?
Hey, I don't want to say I feel sorry for Nate Robinson because he did choose to do this fight, but I didn't think he expected to get his butt knocked out on the ground, cold, and now you the meme and laughing sensation. I mean, the internet is undefeated, so. I'm just saying, I'm not gonna try that, but I just thought that was funny. They made a challenge just like that.
Yeah. And then with the Mike Tyson Roy Jones Jr. fight, I saw a few rounds of it. It was okay, but with that being said, word is, well, not word, but it was official a few days ago that Floyd Mayweather is going to be fighting the YouTube sensation. I believe it's Logan Paul. But do you feel that these exhibitions are good for boxing, or could it hurt the sport?
Honestly, pre-pandemic, we were talking about how boxing is not, I don't want to say notoriety, but it doesn't give the for the premier matches like it used to. So this is 2020. Let's just say go to 2010. I couldn't tell you 5 well-known boxers per se. Like, we know about Floyd Money Mayweather. We know about one of the dudes who went from UFC, I think, to boxing. The point is, it's
you talking about Conor McGregor?
Yeah. It's not as a bad thing for the sport because they don't have anybody to be promoted that people got to see. Like, you don't even hear about the big pay-per-view matches. 10 years ago, even 15, we got to go watch this fight. You know how many people have fight parties because we know you may not get your money's worth. Somebody may get knocked out in the second round, but it's a big hype talking about these fight matches and these boxers that's up and coming. Or we know that this is what you want to pay to see. And now we're not even getting that. So to say that it's hurting the sport doesn't have anything to promote good right now. I'm just not talking about pandemic, I'm talking about pre-pandemic. Like 5 years ago to now, it's only been a handful that people like, yeah, that's good. That's well-known middleweight or heavyweight, Yeah. That's what it's coming to now. So I think that's what boxing is trying to keep people in the next generation a little bit engaged. Like, here, just throw these little old heads together, throw these people, but we still want them to still have a desire for it. So on outside open back up, MGM can still, charge millions pay-per-view, charge millions of people to watch these fights.
Right.
The talent out there right now.
Yeah, I just wonder with these exhibitions, is it gonna just kind of hamper the sport? Like, people aren't gonna take it as serious because with these exhibitions, you can't knock nobody out. Well, that was the rule between Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. You can't knock them out.
That's the ARP rule for boxing, though.
Okay.
If you ARP age, though, that ain't for a regular person.
Okay. So, like, for instance, how would things be with Floyd Mayweather and, Logan Paul? Would there be a lot of big rules that's going to, prevent Floyd from maybe knocking this cat out or vice versa? We'll see. But, and then I think
if that's the case, we have minor leagues in baseball. You got minor leagues in professional basketball. You got minor leagues in professional hockey. So why won't boxing, not just by the weight, middleweight, welterweight, and featherweight, but why won't you guys train a good group? You know what you could be doing, but you're not doing it. Because these exhibitions are out here for a reason. Boxing still wants to make money, and there's not enough talent of a draw to see some good matches. I'm just saying, it's not on exhibition or even these old heads trying to get out there. If Oscar De La Hoya say he want to come back and do something, all right, shoot your shot. Hell, we know your name from when you was good. We don't see anybody that's good right now. Go ahead. Let me use 10 minutes of my life on you. I don't mind, because I don't see anybody out there that's better right now.
Yeah. And how crazy is it that this by the end of this week, NBA basketball will be back?
And it feel like we just wrapped up, which technically we did.
We did. Right. We did.
It's my favorite sport. Or I'm here for it. They're only knocking off 10 games, so we still got 72-game season. So it's still about to be a marathon and not a sprint. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I was surprised about the matchup though for Christmas Day. Even though this is gonna be like, I think by the time Christmas games come, that'll be the team's either second or probably the second game of their season. And I was thinking they would do the big rematches on Christmas Day. Like I wanted to see a Miami and Lakers or even a Battle of LA for Christmas Day. They didn't do that. Or see Brooklyn Nets against the Boston Celtics, something like that. I always thought they were gonna do like all this off season and rematch for the conference finals, but they're not doing it. But I'm still gonna be interested, of course.
Yeah. So with that being said, I'm pulling it up right now. Looks like the games are going to be Christmas Day games will be the New Orleans Pelicans versus the Miami Heat, the Brooklyn Nets, Kyrie going to Boston. The Lakers hosting the Dallas Mavericks. The Clippers facing off against the Nuggets. And let me see. And the Warriors playing at Milwaukee against the Bucks. So those would be the games right there. Once again, the preseason starts this week, Thursday or Friday. Then
are there any fans in the stand, limited capacity or nothing?
So I know that the owner from the Golden State Warriors was saying that he can do testing and whatever. He wants to get 50% in the arenas. But
the state of California got literally 5 million people with COVID right now. I'm not even exaggerating.
Exactly.
That's the whole state.
So that
and you talking about half of the capacity of the stadium?
Right. That was his plan, but I believe as of right now, I have not heard that they are allowing fans in the stands. So it just may be
empty.
Yeah. It'll probably be empty.
And the one big difference, think about this. The one big difference between MLB and even NFL, outside. Everybody's is outside stadiums.
Right.
We're talking about basketball inside. And we are at the worst of the numbers that we can have right now. Vaccine and all, that still doesn't stop that people still keep getting it and spreading it and kill themselves. To watch a game for 48 minutes to put people's lives at risk, that's a lawsuit. I mean, unless they're going to have a disclosure if you buy a ticket, you get COVID and die, that ain't our responsibility. But why would you even want that? That's letting you know you putting definitely profits over people. We knew that's going on all this time, but you really exacerbating it. And they ain't gonna have Klay Thompson. I mean, we'll see who they're gonna do a better job or not. But come on now, really, 50%?
Yeah,
that's easily 10,000 people.
And you know what else is crazy is after Duke lost to Illinois last night, Coach K said that things don't feel comfortable playing right now in regards to college basketball.
Yes.
Because of the whole situation. And I know majority of the reason why he's saying that outside of COVID is because Duke, when you play at Duke, people know that it's a intimidating atmosphere. You don't have those fans there. You know what I'm saying? It takes away from that the aura of playing at a Duke or playing at a KU or playing at a whatever school. So I kind of think, to me, I know he's concerned about COVID, but I think to me, he feels that he lost that home court advantage because he don't have the fans there. Because Duke lost 2 games already at home, but then 2 weeks of the season. That's something that you rarely hear for Duke. So I feel like
he spoke out last week about that, but not canceling the season. He talked about the NCAA need to do something different. He didn't like it.
Yeah.
And that was before that next loss. But with that loss, I said, is it coincidence? I think not. I don't care. I said this earlier today. I wish it was a fly on the wall because I compare the two situations. It's apples and oranges, though. Ohio State initially was supposed to be getting into the conference, to conference championship, I think, or at least to the
playoff. Right. Yeah. So
and now all of a sudden, the NCAA changed it. They got to have 6 games. Okay, now they're eligible.
Money.
And then opposite, or I say apples and oranges. Duke basketball, or Coach K specifically say, "Oh, now we should cancel the season."
Right.
Duke cancel.
Right.
Because y'all losing.
Right.
No, you could have said that before preseason happened. Said Duke is not gonna play. If you was that concerned about COVID, I'm not saying he's not, but it's just coincidence.
Right.
2 losses. You only got like 4 games in. Oh, we should cancel it. Nah, sucker. This is the voice reason. And I know he had Chris Carroll on the show months ago. I didn't want to say that. I think my daddy and now I was growing up liking Duke basketball. So it was Georgetown people. But because of Coach K, they put them on a pedestal.
Right.
Where they can have a 5-game losing streak. And still they'll be like, Duke should be ranked. And Duke, they need to be treated like everybody else. But they put them on water like the New York Yankees. Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
And if the NCAA sat there was consider what he's saying, that's effed up.
And going back to what you're talking about with the Ohio State situation, for those who don't know, the Big Ten, prior to earlier today, they had a rule saying that if you don't play at least 6 games, you would not be eligible to play in a bowl. So right now, Ohio State has 5 wins or whatever, or 6, something like that. They're right on the edge, but they haven't played enough games yet. So Ohio State versus Michigan got canceled for this weekend. So that was going to be that game that at least if they played it, they would have been eligible. So now the Big Ten is changing their ways, pretty much the Ohio State rule, to accommodate them because Ohio State is one of the best teams in the country. They're ranked top 4 in the college football playoff. But at the end of the day, we all know that it's about the money because they know that that's what Ohio State can bring, to college football. They want to make sure that they have that team in the tournament. They are deserving, because let me just say this, because of who they are and their record. Yeah, they are one of the best, teams in college football. But are they more deserving? Because some of them players couldn't play a few weeks ago, I think, because of COVID-related issues. So that takes away from a team that maybe wasn't affected by COVID, who has more games, has more wins, and may not be able to get one of those top 4 spots in the college football playoff.
I hear what you're saying. They got the talent. Some of the players didn't get to play. But Ohio State is not the only team that's even a ranked team that's going through this. So my thing is, when I say the money, because y'all now, granted, COVID does change the schedule and the game from day to day. It ain't even week to week, it's day to day. I get it. But to change it, because we know it's geared for one team, they're ranked good. We know that. But my thing is this: there's other teams in the Big Ten. They've already got the same situation. But if they got a losing record, will the Big Ten change for them? No, of course. We know it's the money. Like what Coach Franklin said, when they picked out these bowl teams, it's because who got the fans that'll travel, who got the following. So they ain't just being ranked and good, but you got to have people that you know is going to spend money in your city. Now, we're not traveling like that this season with football, but the point is, the fan base on TV is going to watch who's going to draw the most viewers. So they're going to cater for one team. I just think it's both. That's why I always say about the NCAA and the cartel. I know this is Big Ten, but specifically, y'all looking at these athletes to make people watch and get y'all money. Their safety is second place because we need y'all out on the field to make this money so people can watch. Mm-hmm. Hypocrisy at its best.
Hypocrisy at its best. Yeah, I know how much you love the NCAA.
I'm gonna keep saying it until they start paying these people. And it specifically, it's just they legal pimps for now. It's legal, and y'all pimping these kids, and it affects too many people that look like me in my community. And then as soon as they done with their education, y'all leave them out to dry, or y'all talk bad about, well, why did that person sit there and take bribes or take money from agents and they not supposed to? but y'all stupid rules is set up for us to do this. Because if this man need to eat, if he needs to go home see his mother or check on his child, you tell me this athlete can't do that because it's against the rules? This is not even modern day common sense. Like back then in 1930s when y'all thought of that, but not now.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy. But we're going to talk about a whole lot more NFL. We're going to talk about, once again, more of the Cardinals and the Blues and everything in St. Louis and more tomorrow, because we have a incredible Thursday night edition as our special guest for tomorrow, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, will be none other than the legendary sports director from KMOX, Mr. Tom Ackerman. He'll be joining us. It will also
in the building.
Yes, it's gonna be crazy. I'm excited about it. Wait a minute. Someone's coming.
Somebody said my time is up.
There it is.
Come on. You trying to say you ready to go to bed?
What up, Thickums?
Exactly. Say hola, Thickums. Say hola.
Hi. That's what's up.
You ready for me to get you to bed, sweetie?
Nigga hurt. Yes. So tomorrow, once again, Tom Ackerman will be our special guest. And it's gonna be a full show. We're gonna have yours truly. Stan will be on. Bunny, you'll be on. Joe is gonna be on. So we look forward to having this interview with Tom Ackerman. It's gonna be fun. This is the Platform Sports Talk Show. Once again, thank you for Will Franklin for joining us. For everybody who watched, thank you very much. Ms. Williams coming through with the comments. Get ready for another great show tomorrow night. Bunny, thanks again for everything that you have done for the show. Ladies' night was off the chain. Make sure, let me go ahead and promote this real quick. Make sure y'all get ready for Ladies' Night every first Wednesday of the month. It goes down. We are already working on another great panel of ladies for next month, so get ready for that. But with that being said, Bunny, I will be talking to you tomorrow. It's the Platform Sports Talk Show. When it's about sports,
it becomes our business.
And business continues to pick up. As we keep on reaching up the higher heights on the Platform Sports Talk Show. Y'all have a great rest of your Wednesday. Enjoy some sports on TV. And as Bunny said last week, holding me down, we out, right. We out.